Imagine you're cruising down the highway. It's not a cloud in the sky, not a drop of rain to be seen, not a car for miles. You're in a car that's perfectly capable of cruising well over 100 miles an hour while doing it safely, yet you're limited to a mere 55 miles an hour because of an old speed limit sign. That's the case for many people, including myself. On the way to work every morning, the speed limit 50 miles an hour, but my car is perfectly capable of driving at 80 miles an hour and doing it safely. I think it's important that we realize that maybe speed limits shouldn't be a thing on US highways anymore. Because of modern car safety, responsible drivers being allowed to choose at what speed they should be able to drive, as well as improving the flow of traffic, are reasons that there should be no enforced speed limit on US highway systems. To start things off, modern cars have obviously evolved quite a bit from when they had first come out. According to an article written by Heaps Russ on the Kelley Blue Book website, many cars come standard with safety features such as high-speed performance tires, anti-lock braking systems, airbag systems, lane assist systems, as well as newer cars coming with self-driving modes. All of these safety systems combined together while having vehicles developing reinforced chassis, having specific spots for airbags to go, as well as being rigorously crash tested prior to being put onto the roadway, are all reasons that there should be no speed limits on US highway systems. The cars of old were built without any of these systems in place, and they didn't exist at the time, so the speed limits had to be lowered to fit with the time of the cars that they had. But seeing as cars have evolved quite a bit in the last 50 years, the speed limits should also have evolved, yet that's not the case. Outside of the evolution of cars, the highway systems themselves are developed around high-speed, efficiently flowing traffic. Many highways in the US are 3 to 5 lanes wide, with a minimum speed limit of about 50 to 60 miles an hour and a maximum speed limit of 70 miles an hour. However, not all drivers follow these rules 100%. Therefore, I believe it's reasonable to say that there shouldn't be an enforced speed limit on those sections of the highways. Now, other than the highway systems and the cars themselves being capable of handling traveling at a higher speed than what we currently have in place, I believe it also falls on the responsibility of drivers to choose what speed they should travel at. Many drivers, like I said, already drive 5 to 10 miles an hour, some 15 miles an hour above the speed limit that's posted, without crashing, might I add. An example of this is the German Autobahn system. 70% of all German highways have no posted speed limit. The sign signifying that. Now, one might think, if there's no enforced speed limit, the crash rate should be higher up there. Well, you would be wrong. In an article written by Liam Cope on the Engineer Fix website, there's only about 3,000 crashes per year all over the German highway system. But in the United States, according to the US Department of Transportation, there's about 6 million crashes every year within the United States highway systems. So obviously, speeding is not the be-all, end-all factor of what causes an incident on the road. It can be things like road conditions, driver behavior, or contributing factors of why accidents happen. Outside of driver responsibility and them being able to handle traveling at a higher speed, I believe that the elimination of the speed limit would also improve the flow of traffic. Many areas of the highway and the road systems as a whole in the US have artificially lowered speed limits to accommodate certain areas of traffic to a certain speed, for safety reasons, obviously. Things like school zones and neighborhoods they have much lower speeds than any other part of the road because there's people that live there, and it becomes a safety hazard if cars are traveling at too dangerous of a speed through them. But not everybody speeds in these zones. Many people follow these speed limits quite regularly. But on the highway systems, many people choose not to follow them, and they speed regularly. The highway systems are accommodated to not have any traffic lights, no pedestrian crossings, and few if any intersections going across the highway, making them very, very straight and very focused for having efficiently moving vehicles at high speeds. As well as eliminating traffic or making the flow of traffic better, could also improve our economy by allowing truck drivers and commercial drivers to get their products wherever they might need to go in a timely manner. And if they didn't have to follow a specific speed limit, they could get them there faster and improve their arrival times. Now, I understand that there is a valid counter-argument here. Wouldn't eliminating the highway speed limits increase the amount of crashes or make them more unsafe? As I said earlier, that is not the case. It's been proven that speed is not the be-all end-all of what causes incidents. A lot of it comes down to driver etiquette and behavior. Just because we're eliminating enforced speed limits does not mean we are eliminating driver safety laws. Of course, anything that is related to street racing, driving under the influence, weaving in and out of traffic, or overall reckless behavior on the roadway would constitute you getting pulled over by a police officer, and that would be punishable. But instead of focusing on the people who are traveling 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles an hour above the speed limit, we should focus on the people who are causing an actual threat to other people on the roadway. I also think if our driving laws and requirements to get our driver's licenses were more strict and thorough in their education, I believe we would produce safer and more responsible drivers to get on these roadways with no speed limits. In conclusion, I believe that because of the modern safety tech of cars, the responsibility of drivers to choose their own speed limits, and because having no speed limit would improve the flow of traffic, I believe those are all valid reasons as to why there should be no enforced speed limit on the U.S. highway system. I believe it is time that we rely more on the modern technology of cars and drivers rather than old and outdated road laws. Thank you.